So as you know, your test will be based on the unit number 1 and 2. Honestly speaking, guys, unit number 1 is all about the theory. What I can advise you guys is to go through the theory, guys, because the theory is always a problem to my students. I know the students they're always lazy to go through the theory. I don't even like the theory, but we have to learn the theory. Please make sure that you learn the theory, know more about the groups of accounts, what they normally do. They can even give you the multiple choice. They can give you explanations. They can give you the matching columns. So you will never know how are they going to set the theory. So make sure that you know more about the theory, know more about, remember, those qualitative characteristics of IFRS, where we talk about the understandability, when we talk about the materiality, the relevance. Please make sure that you go know who is the father of accounting. Just know the difference between financial accounting and the management accounting. If you check your book, there's a theory that you can go through there, guys. Please go through that theory. Remember, they try to balance the theory and the practical. So when it comes to the practical, they focus mainly on the account equation and the classification of accounts. Okay, so make sure that you know how to classify the accounts. Like you can see in this question, I just want us to quickly classify this so that we can check if we are ready for the test. So if you've got any question, guys, you may still ask. If I may ask you guys, I want us to classify this quickly. Remember, we do have groups of accounts. I'm just going to put them here. The groups of accounts, namely, let me just change the color quickly. The groups of accounts. You know that we have got assets. And then you know that we've got owners' equities. I'm still writing them down, guys. They will appear. We've got liabilities. We've got incomes. We've got expenses. Okay, so I think by now these groups very well. You know that, if I may ask, what sometimes when they call this one, who can tell me what is the other term for this group? Because sometimes they don't call it owner's equity. So what can they call it? Who can try? Tell me. You can use the audio. You can also use the chat if you remember. Try to tell me, what do they sometimes call it? Okay, so I'm going to help you. Sometimes they call it proprietary account. Okay, so it means this is the same thing as the owner's equity. So don't be confused when they ask you to classify under owner's equity. This means the same thing. So the proprietary account is the same as owner's equity. Okay, so I want us to quickly classify these accounts, guys. Help me, guys. As you know, this has been divided into two. Remember that the assets have been divided into two. The same applies to the owner's the liabilities. They've been divided into two. Remember, we've got current assets, we've got non-current assets, we've got current liabilities, we've got non-current liabilities. Okay, so I want us to classify quickly and check if we can be able to remember this. So what do you think is capital to us? Where does it fall in this group? Capital, please, if you can help me. What is capital to us?
Sir, in the table or?
Yeah, I'm just asking, out of these groups, where will capital fall? Murphy said owner's equity. Yes, I'm just going to write OE, okay? So the capital is an owner's equity, okay? Remember this, guy, so that you can be able to know that in class. So if you need clarity, let me know. What do you think about drawings? Please try. What is drawings to us?
X.
Say it again.
Does it come under expenses? Owner's equity.
No, it is owner's equity. Yes, it's also. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Mafi, for that. It is owner's equity. Yes. So remember, owner's equity, we only have two things. We only have what? Capital and drawings.
Drawings.
I repeat. So if in the exam they are asking you to classify or to give examples of owner's equities, and then just know that capital is owner's equity and drawings is an owner's equity. But remember, drawings is a negative owner's equity. Okay, because drawings is something negative to the business. So we only have two owner's equities at the moment. Are we together? Let's try the next one. What do you think about mortgage loan? Under which group will it fall? Remember, if you say it's an asset, you must tell me whether it's a current asset or non-current asset. If you say it's a liability, it's a liability. Which liability?
Non-current liability.
Non-current. You are correct. It is non-current liability. You are correct. Let me just do this. Just gonna write NC, okay? I'm gonna write NC next to it like that, okay? What about the short-term loan?
Current liability.
Current liability, thank you so much. Sorry, let me just align this. Because they can ask you to classify this. Yeah, this one is the non-current, sorry. Liability, yes. I'm just gonna write like that, yeah. What about the debtors?
Asset.
Which asset? Current or non-current?
Current asset.
Current asset, thank you so much. What about the creditors?
It's a liability.
Which one?
Current.
You are correct. Thank you so much. Bank unfavorable? Do you agree with Matthew when Matthew says asset? Is bank unfavorable a good thing? Remember, if you say bank unfavorable, it means your bank is negative. So what can you say about that?
Is it a liability?
Is a liability, to be specific, which liability?
Current liability.
Perfect. Can you see now? Because it is unfavorable. Can you see? This makes the difference. Unfavorable here. That's why they said unfavorable. So this must give you a hint, okay? Just like that, okay? No problem. So far, so good. What about the land and buildings?
Non-current asset.
Non-current asset. Thank you so much. I hope Matthew you're also okay there. What about the vehicles?
Non-current asset.
Thank you so much. Non-current assets. What about the inventory?
Sir, is it the same as trading stock?
Yes, same as trading stock.
So it's a current asset.
Perfect. What about the cash float? Remember, the cash float is the money that you, for small change in your shop. You remember in the morning when the
it's an
customers
asset also.
come. Which asset?
It's a current asset.
Perfect, brother. So let me just put it there. What about the sales? The reason why we are in business, we want to make sales. So how can we classify sales?
It's an income.
Income. Thank you so much. So I'm just gonna write I. It's an income. What about the rent income?
It's income also.
Income also. What about the commission income?
It's also an income.
Income. Obviously, commission income.
And interest income. Yeah.
Yes, and the interest income. So can you see sometimes when you are writing a test, you can say, it can't be that easy. No, it's gonna be that easy as long as you remember that this is an income. Are you okay so far, guys?
Yeah.
What about the cost of sales? Yes. Expense. Agree. It's an expense. What about interest expense? I know it's an obvious question.
Expense.
Thank you so much. It will help you a lot when you start answering the question. Remember now, we answer the question without even knowing the requirements, okay? So if you do this, already you know, okay, there are possible questions that they may ask, okay? What about water and electricity?
It's an expense.
It's an expense, thank you so much. Obviously, rent expense is?
Expense.
Thank you so much for that. Salaries and wages?
An expense.
Thank you so much, I appreciate that. They can ask you these kind of questions to classify, but they can ask the way they want it to ask to be presented. So you can see when I go down, I don't know whether this is on the next slide or not, but let me see. Yes, it's on the next slide. So if I can do this, can you see here? They say make use of the balances provided above in the table provided in your answer book. In other words, they gave you this table in your answer book, so they want you to go and find this the total current liabilities. Can you see already we have got answers there? What you need to do, you're gonna go and check all the current liabilities and you write them under that particular table. For example, if we go back for current liabilities, when I go to the current liabilities, we are going to, let me just make it bigger, so that, can you see now? So wherever we see current liabilities CL, we're going to take the short term, the creditors control, bank unfavorable. Can you see now? So we're going to write them like you're going to say, for example, under that, we're going to say short term, we put an amount of how much? Of, how much is it? 3370. Can you see, if you do this, you make your life easy. It's now copying and pasting. Do you think that this is doable, guys? Do you think it's easier to do it like this before you can go and answer? So if they are looking for the owner's equity, you're going to record these two under owner's equity. Can you see now? So if they're asking for the non-current liabilities, you just have to look for NCL. NCL, everything with the NCL will be put under non-current liabilities. If they need non-current assets, can you see? You only put non-current asset under the relevant current asset. If they will need the incomes, you're only going to put these ones in your incomes. If they need expenses, you only put these ones in your expenses. Can you see now? And you get your marks. So for me, the classification is very important. Can you see? You can get all your marks. Can you see here? They're asking for the current liabilities. You're going to take all the current liabilities, you put them together, And please, if they give you the format, just write, for example, don't just total them and give the total. If the current liability there is a creditors, you write the amount. If it's the bank unfavorable, you write bank unfavorable, you put the amount. If you have got something like prepaid income, you write prepaid income, put the amount. And thereafter, add all of them and put the total at the end there. Do you think you will be okay with 1.1.1? Do you understand how to do it? Let me give you an opportunity to ask questions. So if you know, guys, let me know in the chat so that we can move on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. If you're happy, I'm happy. So the other one, thank you so much. The other one that they want us to do is to calculate. They say calculate the total owner's equity. There are two ways of calculating owner's equity, but in this case, they want you to use capital, drawings, and profit. Why do they tell you that you need to use capital, drawings, and profit? Because there are two ways of calculating. So I'm going to show you the first way of doing it. If you want to calculate capital using drawings and profit, remember, capital is like the same as owner's equity. In a way, it's an owner's equity because it's positive. So for you to find capital at the end of the year, so you need to use the following formula. For example, in our case, we need to go and find, I'm going to write it down. You must take, I'm going to write the formula down. You will take capital balance at the beginning, and you will less drawings, and you will add profit. Getting it down. So, and this is what will give you the answer for 2. Can you see now? This is the formula that you need to check. Can you see now? So if they're asking you to calculate owner's equity, remember owner's equity is like you are trying to find capital at the end of what? Of the period. So what you need to do, you take the capital that is given to you, you less drawings, and what must you do after? You add profit. But the question is, how will I calculate profit? So again, there's a formula for finding profit. So I think you know by now, you will take your total incomes, you will less your total expenses. Are you following so far?
Yes, sir.
So in this case, in our case, if I can go back, so I'm going to go back, you'll see I'm going to come back here. So when I go back, sorry, it's big, it's too big, too big, too big. Now, can you see our capital here is 450, meaning I'm going to take 450 as my capital. I'm going to go back. For example, I'm going to say my capital balance in this case. In this case, my capital balance will be 450. Can you see now? Will be 450. And then I will minus drawings. Can you see now? So I have to go back. Sorry guys for me for going back and forth. I'm gonna take my drawings. Can you see my drawings here is 10,000. Can you see now? Meaning I'm gonna minus 10,000. So I'm gonna go and minus 10,000. So I'm gonna minus 10,000. and then I'm gonna add the profit I made. Can you see now? So the profit I made, as I said, for you to find the profit, like I said here, for you to find this profit, you need to take your incomes and minus expenses. So in this case, what are you going to do? You're going to take the answer for this one. Remember, you will be having a total income here. You're going to take the total income here and minus the total expense. So if you get a positive, it means you made the profit that you're going to add here. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it depends. If you have got income of 40,000 here and expenses of 10,000 here, you're gonna say 40 minus 10, and that will be the 30 that you're gonna add here. But remember, I didn't show you this. I expect that you can do this on your own. But when you do it on your own, just take your incomes here and minus your expenses like I gave you here. The amount that you get is the one that is going to be profit if it is positive. But if you get a negative, it's gonna be a loss. You are going to minus it here. Do you think you can be able to calculate owner's equity
Yes,
using
sir.
this format? Yeah, no problem. So I hope as long. But what if they said the other way of finding the owner's equity? Eh? You must know that the owner's equity, if they ask you the other ways, they can ask the other way is gonna be owner's equity. Write it as OE equals assets minus liabilities. So this is the other way of what? Of calculating the owner's equity. The reason why they were very specific here that you must use capital drawings and profit is because there were two ways. Because if they cannot tell you which method to use, it means you will either you can choose this method or this method. Can you see now? So they must always tell you which method to use. So if they don't tell you which method to use, you can choose whatever method to use. So next time they can say you must use assets and liabilities. What you're gonna do, you're gonna take all your total assets. Remember, if you say total assets, it means all the current liabilities, all the current assets, all the non-current assets together. When we say liabilities, you will take all the non-current liabilities and and the current liabilities together. You add them together, and their difference will be the owner's equity. Do you understand what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So be careful if they ask you to calculate owner's equity. There are two ways of doing it. So this is the question, the first question. So they can ask you like that. Do you think so far you got it, like guys, so that I can go to the next question that I want us to discuss?
Sir, if they ask us to do it following the second method, the
Yes.
so we have to add non-current liabilities and current liabilities
Yes,
together.
yes, together. So we don't isolate. As long as something is a liability, we add all of them together. The same applies
Okay.
to assets. Don't worry about whether it's current asset or a non-current asset. Remember here, we are talking about the total assets and the total liabilities, irrespective of their section. Because as we know, they can be divided into two. Assets can be divided into two, liabilities can be divided into two.
Okay, sir.
No problem. Thank you so much for that. Okay, let me go to the next. The next one, as you can see here, guys, this is what we call accounting equation. And then normally they like us using the perpetual inventory system. And then according to this business, they say the name of the business is Malaza Traders. And then they say we are selling. It's important for you to know that to know what you are selling in your business. So here they say we are selling artwork. So it's very much important to know the name of our business. What are we selling? Why must we know what are we selling? Is because what we are selling is going to be the trading inventory or the trading stock. So whatever I sell, as long as I sell to work. So I must know that I'm selling my goods, I'm selling my trading stock. So it's always very much important, guys, to know what is the main service for your business. What are we selling? So whatever we are selling will always be classified as what? As the goods, and the goods will always be classified as the trading stock or the trading inventory under what do you call the perpetual inventory system. Are you okay so far with what I just explained?
Yes, sir.
No problem. Now let's go and check here. If I may ask you, which group are you from? Which group?
So I was before I was
Are you in
group
my group?
one. No,
Or you're in my
I'm
group?
in
Ne?
group three. Group three now.
Oh, you're in group 3. Okay, you moved to group 3.
Yeah.
Okay, you are both in group 3. Okay, no problem. I don't know why are the other groups not attending today. Are they aware of this thing? I think if you got the communication, I think they also got communication.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I think they just decided. Maybe they are ready for the test, okay? But others maybe are still coming to the campus to attend. Are you attending today?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, no, maybe that can be the reason there. Okay, let's analyze this. They say Malaza Traders, remember Malaza is our business. They say we bought merchandise. This is very much important. We bought merchandise. And how did we buy the merchandise? We bought it on credit. So this must give us the two accounts. What do you think are the two accounts in this case? By looking at the merchandise and by looking at how did you buy, what do you think will be the two accounts involved?
Trading inventory.
Trading inventory. Thank you so much for that. Trading inventory. And the other one is? Murphy said creditors control. Do you agree with Murphy?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. These are the two accounts involved. Let me just try to change it to 14. Yeah, these are the two accounts involved. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you still analyze, or are you in a position to go direct these days? Because remember, if you are a beginner, you can analyze. Do you think that you can take this directly to the? Let's try. Let's try. If you struggle, welcome. So this will be 1.1. So 1.1. So don't worry about the column for the journal there. Journals are still coming. What would you think will be the account debited between the two? Which one am I gonna debit and which one am I gonna credit? If you look at these two. Okay, Murphy said I must debit inventory. Do you agree with Murphy?
Sir, regarding these, I get a little bit confused.
Okay, so if you're confused, let's do it like this. By the way, Murphy is correct. So let's analyze. I don't know, how did you learn your rules?
So I was in your class. You
Or
did
you
the
learned
same.
using those tables,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
those boxes? Ne?
Yes, yes.
Okay, remember, you need to classify this. Obviously, the trading inventory is what? Is your asset. You agree?
Yeah.
And then what about the crisis control?
Um,
Where does it fall?
it's a liability.
It's a liability. Can you see now? I put an L like this, okay? Now I need to check the movement, whether they are increasing or decreasing. So what do you think about the trading stock? When you buy trading stock, do you increase them or do you decrease them?
Increase.
Increase. So remember, you bought them on credit. So what happens to your liabilities? Do they go up or down?
Not sure. Sir.
Remember, you bought on credit. So what happens to what you owe? Does it go up or down?
I think it goes up.
Yes, because you owe more, because you bought on credit. Can you see now? So now, after seeing these errors, I don't know if you have got your rules with you there. Where do, according to our rules, where do assets increase? Under which side, debit or credit?
Assets.
Yeah,
Debit.
they increase on the debit. Can you see now? And then liabilities, where do they increase?
Credit side.
Credit. And again, let's say you are not sure about the liability. You just have to know that as long as the other one is debit, the other one must be what? Credit.
Credit.
Can you see how did we decide that the trading stock must be on the debit side?
Yes, sir.
Can you see? That's how we found it. So I'm just gonna write trading stock or trading inventory. Trading stock, and obviously the other account will be creditors control. Because of space, guys, I'm just gonna write creditors C. I think you'll understand what I mean there. I think it makes sense. Okay. Are you okay so far?
Yes, sir.
No problem. So now we have to go. Remember, we've got two columns here. We've got the column for assets. We've got the column for owner's equity. We've got the column for liabilities. So we need to decide under which column are we going to record. But how can I know that? I need to go and check my analysis here. This will tell me where to go. What is this?
Asset.
So meaning I'm going to affect my assets. What is this?
Liability.
Meaning I'm going to affect my
Liability.
liabilities. So it means I'm not going to affect which column?
Owner's equity.
I'm not going to affect owner's equity. That's why I'm going to go to the owner's equity and put 0 so that I cannot make a mistake of coming to the owner's equity. Are we together?
Yeah.
I can also use this to check the movements. Can you see here we said the asset is going up. So under the assets column down there, must I put plus or minus? Look at this, it will tell you. Must I put plus or minus?
Plus.
Plus. Plus.
56,500.
Thank you so much. Can you see now? And the same applies to the liabilities. I check the same thing. Is it going to be plus or minus? Check. It must tell you. Check.
Minus?
Check. No, check. Okay. Why did you say plus on assets? What did you see?
Because it's we are buying. That's why.
No, like here on our analysis, something should have. Yes, I
Oh,
understand
okay.
you are
It's
buying.
going up.
It's going
Yes.
up. But
Yeah.
even here, liability is going. I'm just saying the
Up.
simplest way of looking at it. But at the same time, you can say, okay, I'm owing more. My liabilities are going up. That's why I'm gonna have what? A plus. Again,
Plus.
under what? Under owner's
Liability.
equity. Under the liability. Under owner's
Liability.
equity. Under the liabilities of how much?
56,500. Yeah.
Yes. So you are controlled by what you wrote here. But as I can see, you struggled a bit there when it comes to this one. So what you can do in the test is to save time. The minute you recorded plus under assets, I'm telling you, you cannot have a negative on the other column. You must always have a plus. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So if you've got plus here, you must have plus. Even if you came here, let's say you came to owner's equity, you must still have plus. You cannot have plus under assets and have minus under these two. Never, it doesn't work like that. It's always, we are always having what? We are always having plus, plus, minus, minus. As long as assets is one of those columns, you affect assets and one of those, the signs will always be the same. That's why I always advise you to start recording under assets. Why? Because it is easy to understand the assets. So if you record under assets, you know that whatever you wrote under assets, I'm just going to copy and paste on wherever I'm going to record. Does that make sense? Will you remember this when you're writing a test?
Yes, sir.
Always start with the assets, and the assets will give you the other answer there. So this is 1.1. Okay. Can we try 1.2?
Yes, sir.
No problem. 1.2, they said Malaza, remember we are Malaza. They say needed a new gallery space to display a new gallery space to display their inventory. In order to buy gallery space, they received a loan from the bank. They received a loan. Remember, this is very tricky because they are not buying it yet. They just need it. Can you see now? So when you read, you need to be careful. Remember, in accounting, we can only record something that has happened already. Here they were just needing it. They need it. But for them to buy it, they went to go and get a loan. So the focus must be on a loan. They went to obtain a loan. So what do you think are the two accounts for this one? What do you think will be the two accounts for the loan?
Bank.
Bank. Other one? Loan. Thank you so much, Murphy. So the other account is what? Is the loan. Because you got a loan, and then obviously that loan is going to be put into your bank account. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Let's classify. I can see Murphy gave us the answer already. A loan is what?
A
You owe it.
liability.
Ne? What
Yeah.
about the bank?
It's an asset.
It's an asset. Remember, bank, it means the business bank account. Because the loan that they give you, you're going to put it into the bank account. So tell me about the movement. Will the bank increase or decrease
It
when you get a loan?
increases.
It increases. What about the loan? What about the liabilities? Will they go up or down?
Up.
Up. And it's then that you go to the rules. For me, I always try to start with the assets because assets are easy to understand. So assets increase under which side?
On the debit side.
Debit side. So immediately when I put debit here, and I'll put what there? The opposite, which is what?
Credit.
Yes, this will help me a lot. Can you see now? This is how I decide. Now, we know the account to debit is going to be bank, and the account to credit is going to be what? A loan for 1.2. So for 1.2 here, we said we are going to debit, according to our analysis, we must debit the bank, and we must credit the loan. That is what we agreed on. Can you see how easy is that if you analyze it? Can you see now, if you analyze it? Are you okay so far?
Yes, sir.
No problem. So let's go back there. So now we go back. Remember I told you about how to decide. You look at this. What do you think? Which columns will I affect if you look at this?
Assets.
Tell me.
And
Assets
liabilities.
and? So meaning I'm going to put 0 under what?
Owner's equity.
Owner's equity. Can you see now? So that I cannot make a mistake. So remember, I always advised you to start with assets. Remember?
Yes, sir.
And you are not forced. It's just my advice because I know that assets are easy to deal with. Let's look at the assets and tell me if I'm going to add this 500,000 or if I'm going to plus it or less it in your
Plus.
assets. Just plus because of that error. So I'm going to go and put plus. Okay? And remember, I told you that the minute you record under assets, obviously you are going to have the answer for the other one. What do I mean by saying that?
It's also a plus.
It's also a plus under liabilities,
Liability.
because I must come to the liabilities, because that is a fact. You cannot have plus and minus as long as asset is one of those. The technique that you can use at the end of the day. Are you okay so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's not that difficult. It's all about analyzing at the end of the day. Just analyze, you see, and then don't fear. Don't have that fear, because sometimes we fear and say, okay, maybe I'm wrong and something like that. No, just try to avoid the fear. No one is perfect, but at the end of the day, you're going to perfect yourself, I'm telling you. So why did they move you from my class? They don't like us, ne?
No, sir, I was going to the wrong group.
Oh, you're going to the wrong group. Okay,
Yeah.
I get you. No problem. Let's try 1.3. The one that I like here. 1.3 here, they say cash sales. No, let me change the color. Yeah, cash sales. So this cash sales must give us the two accounts. Already I can see two accounts. And they said we made sales. Thank you so much for that, Murphy. For 43,000, we sold for 43,950, but they said the cost price. Can you see now? So remember, I said if you are like what Murphy said there, as long as you are selling inventory. Why do I say I'm selling inventory? Is because we can only say sales when we sell inventory. I repeat, how did I know that I sold inventory? Because we can only say sales only when we sell inventory. So it means on this 1.3 we are selling inventory. So this, obviously we have got accounts involved. I'm gonna squeeze it here. So the first account, this cash must give us an account. What is the account for this cash? I know Murphy gave us the account there. You can also try, Moise, you can try and then and give me the first two accounts. So this is cash must give us an account. What is that account?
Cost of sales?
No, cash for
Or
now.
trading
Remember,
stock?
no. Remember, it's cash sales. So this
Or
cash
it's
sales
bank?
must give us two accounts. Bank. And then obviously the other one will be what? Sales. Anything now? So these are the first two accounts. Why am I saying the first two accounts? Because we are going to have the other accounts. Because when you are selling inventory under perpetual, you must have four accounts. Please give me the remaining two. So the remaining two will come from this one. Remember, these two came from the selling price. Now we've got the cost price. The cost price must also give us the other accounts. What are those accounts?
Trading stock?
Trading stock will always go with. I'm going to remove this one here, guys. Thank you. The trading stock, I'm going to remove this for the sake of space, guys, so that you can see. I don't want to have, as long as I explained this before. Let me just delete this. Delete this. So that I can, yeah. So I'm going to have bank and sales, and then trading stock will go with, let's see. Yeah, like Kamo said. Thank you, Kamo. Welcome, Kamo. We're going to have trading stock will go with cost of sales at all times. Don't forget this. The minute you sell inventory or goods, just know that you are going to have four accounts. Okay, the first pair of accounts is going to be bank and sales. The second pair will be trading stock and cost of sales. Okay, tell me, let's classify quickly here. What is bank, what is sales, and check the movement. Tell me, please. What is bank to us?
Asset.
Asset. What about the sales?
It's an income.
It's an income. Thank you so much. Income. Tell me about the movement. Will the bank increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increase. What about the sales? Will they increase or decrease?
Decrease.
No. You remember you made sales. The more you sell, the more sales you have. You must
So
have.
it goes up.
Yes. So under which side here? Bank increase under which side? Assets increase under which side?
Debit.
Debit. Sorry guys, I'm using the mouse. Ne? And then what about, obviously this is going to be what?
Credit.
Which side? Credit. Sorry guys, I'm using the mouse. Okay. We do the same for the other accounts. Tell me, what are they? What are they?
It's an asset. Trading stock.
It's an asset. Thank you so much. What about the cost of sales? The word cost must give you something. Cost. What is it to us? Thank you, Mavi.
Expense. Yeah.
Expense. Can you see now? Because it's a cost. So let's check the movement. What will happen to the trading stock?
Debit. Goes up.
Are they going up or down?
Trading stock.
Yeah.
Does it go up?
I'm asking, is it going up or down? Just check what you are doing here. Number 3. What are you doing to it? What did you do? It's either you bought or you sold. So tell me, what did you do here on 1.3? What happened to the stock? What are you doing on 1.3? It's either you are buying or you are selling. What are you doing if you check here? What is happening?
Selling.
So if you sell, what happens to the stock?
It goes down.
So it's going down. It decreases. So what about the cost of sales? You made sales. What will happen to the cost of sales? The more sales you have, the more cost of sales you're going to have. So meaning?
Goes up.
Going up. Because this is, remember, I have cost of sales because of sales. So if my sales are going up, meaning my cost of sales must also go up. Because the more I sell is the more I'm going to have the record for those cost of sales. I don't know if it makes sense to you.
Yes, sir.
No sales, no cost of sales. Okay, tell me about the size. Assets decrease under which side?
Debit.
Assets decrease, not increase. Remember here they were increasing here. That's why I said debit.
Credit.
Credit side. Can you see now? So you must check the movement. So we put credit because it is going down. If it was going up, I will say debit. So obviously this is going to be what?
Debit.
Debit. Can you see? That's how we analyze. So every time when you sell stock under perpetual, you're going to have 4 accounts. They will be like this. This will only change if you sold on credit, because next time they can say credit sales, meaning you sold on credit. The only thing that will change will be the bank. The bank will become, if I sold on credit, what will replace bank? Which account will replace bank if I sold on credit?
Creditors control.
No, not creditors, the other one, the opposite.
Debit.
Not debit, is debtors control. Debtors control.
Debtors control.
So the only thing that will change will be the bank. It will become debtors control. Everything will stay the same. Even the movements, even everything here will not change. The only thing that will change will be bank, and bank will become debtors control. Debtors control is still an asset, and it will still have the same movement as the bank. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's try and record. Remember, for the 1.3, I'm going to have 2 things. So I'm going to have 1.3, I'm going to have the A part. Okay, the 1.3, I'm going to have 1.3A. And the other one is going to be B. So I'm going to use that A like that. So let's start with the A. The A part will be what? Will be this part of what? Of bank and sales. So which one did I debit and which one did I create between the two?
Bank is debit.
I'm gonna debit bank
and credit sales.
and then I'm gonna create sales. That is the first pair. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is the first pair. So let's finish A before we can go to B. Now, no, we debit. Yeah, we do credit bank if money went out, if we pay. Can you see on 1.2? We were receiving cash. That's why the bank is debited. So sometimes you're going to use bank to pay. Let's say you pay for your wages, you go and buy stock. So the bank will be credited because money is going out. Does that make sense, Mafi? Perfect. Now, let's go back to this analysis here. I want you to look at this and tell me which columns will I affect?
Assets.
On those assets and what? Incomes affect which column?
Asset.
Uh-uh.
Oh, owner's equity.
Owner's equity. Write it down for future reference. When you see incomes, when you see expenses, just know that you are going to affect owner's equity at all times. So owner's equity is affected by incomes, expenses, capital, and drawings. Did you get that?
Yes,
or do you
sir.
want me to repeat myself?
No, sir.
Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
So meaning I'm going to affect assets and I'm going to affect assets and which
Owner's
column?
equity.
Owner's equity. So I'm not going to affect what?
Liability.
So I'm going to put 0 there so that I cannot make a mistake. And remember, you and I have got technique, guys. Which technique is that? Tell me what I advised you to start with. Just tell me so that I can understand that you got it.
With assets.
I said you start with the assets because the assets will give you the answer for the other one, okay? So let's go and check the assets. So what did you say to the assets? Will I plus or minus?
Plus.
Plus, okay. I'm gonna go and plus here. Under assets, plus, how much was that amount, by the way? The sales, remember this amount is 43,950. That is the same. Yes. 43,950. And then where else must I go and record? We said what? Owner's equity. How? What must I record under owner's equity?
$30,000.
No. Remember, we're still here. Remember the way we have been recording here. Check. So I'm still here. I'm still here using this amount.
We are using the same amount. Okay.
Yes. So we decided to come here. I just want to know whether it's a minus or a plus.
It's a plus.
It's a plus. Can you see now? 43,950. You see, that's how to deal with it. Iki. You can say something, Iki. Okay, now let's go to this one is covered now. Now we focus on this one. Again, you must decide which account will I go and debit and which account will I go and credit.
Cost of sales is debit.
Cost of sales, I'm going to call it a B part. and then you said the cost of sales is going to be, I'm just going to write costs of, let's see, maybe I can fit it. Sales, yes. I'm going to just write cost of sales like that. And then obviously I'm going to credit what? Trading stock or trading inventory. This is according to our analysis, okay? This is according to our analysis. Yes. So, any questions so far? Does that
No,
make
sir.
sense like that? No problem. Because Murphy, cost of sales is an expense, and expenses increase on the debit side. Can you see now? My cost of sales went up. The more I sell, the more I record in the cost of sales. So cost of sales goes with the sales. Cost of sales are the expenses, so the expenses increase on the debit side according to the rules. Are we together? Are we okay, Murphy? Perfect. Now, let's decide here. Which columns do you think I'm going to go and affect? Let's look at this. This must give us
Assets
an
and
idea.
owner's
Assets
equity.
and owners.
Owner's equity.
So meaning I'm not going to affect what? Liabilities
Liability.
once again. What do you think must we start with as a column where we record? Must we start with the assets or must we start with assets? Ne? Okay, let's go and check the movement of assets. What did we say about the assets here?
Minus 30,000.
Minus, because the arrow is going down, okay? How much was the amount, by the way?
30,000.
30,000, okay? Thank you so much for that. We say minus 30,000. And then we must go to the owner's equity with the 30. Yes.
Is it going to be plus minus 30,000 on owner's equity?
Where?
Or is it
Why
only
plus
going
minus?
to be because expenses affect owner's equity negatively?
Yes, you said expenses affect owner's equity negatively. What must I do? I go to the owner's equity and I affect it negatively. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's how. I don't put plus or minus. Remember, you only say plus or minus under a particular column. Let's say, for example, here, you had two things which go to the same column. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can say plus or minus, but nothing goes to the same column here. The other one goes to the other column. Can you see now? So at the end of the day, this paper, I don't know from which group Gamo are you from. I can load it. By the time when I'm gonna send the link, when I send the link, I'm gonna attach it to the link. Is it okay on that? So, but I'm gonna put the link under group 1 and group 2 because I've got access to group 1 and group 2. For the other groups, I'm gonna ask Doreen, who sent you the email, to send the other groups. So what I'm gonna do, okay, let me do it like this. I'm gonna send this with the link of this particular lesson. Are we okay, Kamo? Which group are you from, Kamo? Group 2. Okay, what I'm gonna do for group 2, I can just put it with the link on announcement. But for the other group, I think because I cannot access their group, I'm gonna go and send it to Doreen, and Doreen will share with the other group. Okay. Now, so far, are you okay with this one? Please make sure that you understand how to do it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's try the last one. Let's see if we can win. Okay, the last one. I'm gonna need a space, and then I'm gonna remove this part of information there. Remember, when I remove it, you can still check the video there, and the video will still give you. Or maybe I cannot remove it. I can just put it at the bottom here. Let's analyze this. But no, let me remove because I need to have a clear information here, guys. I'm gonna remove this part. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna remove it. Remove it just like that. Sorry guys. Yes. Okay, let's check this one. We bought a special packaging material and paid by check. So please give me the two accounts for this one. Give me the two accounts. I trust you. You bought packaging material. What do you think are the two accounts involved?
Cost of sales.
No, we only say cost of sales if you are selling.
So it's
stock.
only sales.
Yes. So we're not selling here. So we are buying packaging material and we paid. So give me the two accounts or one account.
Bank.
Bank and whatever you bought. What did you buy?
Oh, packaging material.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Thank you,
So,
Mafi, for
we
that.
don't have to add bank.
We add bank. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Let's classify. What is bank? What is packaging material? Let's say, what is bank? Classify quickly.
Asset.
Asset. What about the packaging material? Thank you for that, Mafi. And Kamo, packaging material is an expense to the business, okay? I want to see the movement. What happens to the bank? Is it going up or down?
The
It's going? Thank you, Kamo. It's going down. What about the packaging material? What about the expenses for the business? Are they going up or down? They are going up. Thank you. Any question about that?
So why is the bank going down?
Because you are paying. When you pay, what happens to your bank account?
Oh, okay.
Because you take money from the bank to go and pay for what? For the packaging material. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what about the rules here? Under which side do assets decrease? Be careful, decrease, not increase.
Debit side.
No, it must be on the credit side. So assets increase on the debit, they decrease where? On the credit.
Credit side.
And then the expenses, I'm gonna put, thank you so much, Mafi and Ofense. And the minute I put debit credit there, I'm gonna have what? A debit here.
Debit.
Can you see now? So so far I think, yeah, just go and check this, because assets, it depends whether something is increasing or decreasing, because I realize that sometimes you only look at the increasing part of it. Just check whether it's going down. When it's going down, you do the opposite of what it normally does when it goes up, okay? Or if you've got those rules with you, you can check the rules, they will tell you where to go, okay? So now we know the account to debit, account to credit. Please note them so that you can tell me which account to debit and which account to credit.
Packaging materials, debit.
Yeah, packaging material is going to be, this is 1.4. Let me just write it here because I've got too much space. 1.4. I'm gonna debit packaging material, and I'm gonna credit bank. Can you see now? This is what I'm gonna do. Okay. This is because, remember, I'm controlled by what I did here on top. So now let's look at this and tell me which columns to go and affect and which column to go and put 0. Look at this.
Owner's equity
And
and asset.
Thank you so much. So meaning I'm gonna put in a 0 under
Liability.
liabilities. Thank you so much for that. And then remember our preference, we always start with what?
Yes.
And then remember our preference, we always start with what?
Asset.
And then check the arrow. What am I now gonna do there? Am I gonna add or less? If you look
Add
at this,
or
look at it again.
negative.
Minus, because the asset is going down. So I'm gonna say minus how much? Let's see, 10,500. I'm gonna say minus 10,500. And what about the owner's equity?
Negative.
Minus 10,500. You can see. Not difficult. So can you see in the test, they can give you any information as long as you know how to analyze, you win. I'm telling you, you will never go wrong if you analyze like this. Never, ever. As long as you analyze correctly, I'm telling you, you will always be on point. Are we good? Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So please make sure that you go through this. The account equation is the one that I have problem with, and you must also know how to classify the accounts. Those who just joined late, you will see what we did from the previous question, but please make sure that you know how to deal with this kind of information. Okay. So far, do you have any question about account equation? Let me give you an opportunity to ask any question based on account equation. Any question?
No, sir.
No problem.
So, where is this gonna be uploaded? The recorded.
Come again?
This
Where?
session is recorded, right? Where is it gonna
It's
be
recorded.
uploaded then?
Because you are not part of this group, what I'm gonna do, I think you got an email from Doreen, the lady that sends you communication. Eh?
Yeah.
So she's the one who must send you the link, and I'm going to attach this question.
Okay, but we are gonna have this before our ice task.
Now, don't worry today. So it's just that today I've got a full day. I'm gonna do it after work, because after this I'm having another booster at 12, and after 12 today I don't have a break. I've got my own classes in the afternoon, so I can only do it after 5. But I'll need to relax. Maybe after, just give me today, and then tomorrow you will see it. But I'll do it today just to be safe.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So this was the plan for the today, guys, because you only have to write on unit number 1 and 2. But if you're okay, guys, I'm happy. Go and practice. Remember, guys, if you want to learn more, you can also go to my YouTube. Okay. And then you will find some of the my videos which you can use. But yeah, other than that, just follow our VC Learn. Someone is Kamo said which booster. No, the booster that I'm having is for another course. It's for sports management. It's not for you guys. The reason why I put them during meridian hour is because they don't have, I can't feed them, and they're also writing next week. So I'm only going to see them today and tomorrow. So don't worry, it's not the booster for our module. Okay, guys, if you don't have questions, I think we can call it a day. And then thank you for attending, guys. And I can only say good luck, and I know you're gonna do better. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Thank you, Offense, and I appreciate, guys, for your attendance. Thank you so much.